You're listening to the Superpower Up Podcast with your superpower experts. This is the place where we explore real-life superpowers and give you the tools to unlock your own.
Hello, everyone. This is Tonya Dawn Recla, your superpower expert, and you all are in for such a treat today. A delightful, delightful woman. We are talking today with Dr. Marissa Pei, and we're going to be talking about world-changing, iconic women. So if that gives you even the slightest clue of the power that this conversation is going to wield. Marissa is, I mean, as soon as I let her talk to you, you're going to feel this, the light that comes off of her, the energy that comes off of her. She's one of those women that you just, the second you start talking with her, you know that she has this larger than life mission in the world. And of course, it's encapsulated by the fact that she recently won 2017 Iconic Woman of the Year award. And that's obviously very significant. And so one of the things that we're going to kind of unpack today is the idea of this world-changing concept. And I know we throw those words around a lot, but there's a practicality to that. And so she is one of those individuals that bridges the worlds of the real, esoteric, more abstract with the practical building and changing and brick by brick kind of concepts. And that's so needed in our lifetime. And she's had amazing experiences, rubs elbows with amazing people that she'll talk about, just the interviews and the shows. Her show is Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. And it's all about balance. And so I can't express enough how excited I am to have her share her amazing wisdom with you on the show today. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Marissa Pei. Welcome, Marissa.
Yay. Thank you so much. And I'm delighted and excited to be here talking to the superpower originator.
Well, awesome. Well, I think I can probably credit Stan Lee with that piece, and and I'm happy to carry a torch of that because it gives me the opportunity to ask amazing people like yourself, what are your superpowers?
Well, I will start with the fact that I have finally figured out how to be in two places at the same time. In fact, I'm probably more like in 8 places at the same time. It's called syndication. As you mentioned, my 2016 Podcast of the Year award-winning Top 10 in Health show, Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, is now syndicated on iHeartRadio, which is carried all over North America, as well as CNBC, NBC affiliate KCAA, which is AM, FM, live streaming, and call-in. So I am, wherever I am, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I get to watch myself on the air because we have cameras in the studio, as well as yak at you about more hope and happiness, as well as be doing what I'm doing, whether it's playing pinochle with my 97-year-old wonderful woman friend here, or out with my daughters, or on the beach life balance coaching, or speaking on stage, or consulting with corporate Fortune 100s. I get to do all of that and at the same time ask you to focus on your own reality show so you can be happy 88% of the time. That's why on the show we have no K words, no Kardashian talk allowed, as well as T words, no 43rd president talk as well, because that gets covered enough in mainstream media. So my show's all about balance and balancing out what's right with the world and what's right with you.
Beautiful. So how did you get into this concept? I know that happiness is this thread that kind of weaves itself through your existence. So how did you get focused on that?
It's called life. I woke up and said, I'm not happy. It's no matter what I achieve in life, no matter what I do that's positive, no matter how many degrees, no matter how many accolades or successes, I just never felt happy, like truly internally happy. And then some bad stuff started to happen. Actually, bad stuff happened in my early life with abuse and then a very expensive divorce. And so my happiness factor dropped even further. And so I had to look at myself, and that's one of the great things about psychology is you do what you need to do for yourself first, and looked at this whole concept of happiness and realized that it really is an inside job. and that we have, as you say, superpowers. And my superpower is to help people see their own superpower. And that most of us have had shiitake happen to us as children. I think the statistic is 7 out of 10 from psychology, and as high as 8 out of 10, Oprah says. And the latest statistic that I've heard is 93%. So most of us have had bad stuff happen to us growing up. And so if that's the truth, then why do we feel bad about what's happened to us? And so my job, my superpower, is to turn all of that around. As one of the speakers, someone that I think you know, Jason Cisneros, just said on a platform that I was on a couple weeks ago on a red carpet, he said, it's not what happens to you, it's what happens for you. And that just capsulizes my superpower. I get to work with people all around the planet, not just through the show, but on one-on-one and from speaking platforms, to really look at yourself in a way that is kind, to really look at yourself in a way that does not define yourself in what happened to you. And that every single one of us 7.3 billion on the planet has unique talents, gifts, and abilities, and that we're here on the planet not to try to get ahead, step on people, have more toys, great car, great house. You can have that too, but that's not what we're here on the planet to do and be. We're here on the planet. It's our birthright to be happy 88% of the time. And one of those ground source of happiness is knowing how unique and lovable, loving, and loved you are. And so my work is all about getting you and yourself first to that place, and then your ability to be that for other people. So the book that's coming out next in a little bit is called 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are, because it allows me to reach even more people than the show does by having a book. It's self-help on steroids, but in every chapter, it speaks to where you are. So if you're lonely, then there's a chapter from loneliness to hope. If you are stuck in suffering and loss, if you've lost someone, there's a chapter from that into faith. There's a chapter from shame to dignity. There's a chapter from heartbreak to love. There's a chapter from hatred to forgiveness. There's a chapter from fear, which is just false, which is just future events already ruined, into freedom. There's a chapter for perfectionists and recovering control freaks like myself, into joy. And finally, the last chapter is from control, out of control, into happiness. And that is my exciting thing and my superpower in form of a book that's coming right at you. It'll be released August 7th, 2018. And I'm so excited because now you're going to know exactly what I know, and you're going to be able to work through the book. It has hundreds of exercises, balance tools to help you get to where I want you to be and where you want to be. And what's exciting, you know, when we were in our little pre-interview, we talked about it's a beautiful time. It's the time of a lot of change, and I want all of you who are listening right now to just switch out the what's, when you turn on the news, it sounds like, the world is going to HE double a hockey stick in a handbasket. But can we see this time of change and instability as an alchemist? Can we see it as Phoenix rising? My middle name in Chinese actually is Learned Phoenix. So I'm in the right place. I'm positioned exactly where I'm supposed to be, as everyone else is. And if we would just turn off Netflix for a little bit and not binge reality show and binge on ourselves and love ourselves and act on our own behalfs, can you imagine what this world's going to be like?
Awesome. Well, very cool. Well, we're going to take a quick break, but before we do, let's tell people where they can go to find out more about you.
Absolutely. The number 4, balance, like lifebalance.org or drmarissa.tv. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram is Doc Balance. And if you are enjoying or resonate at all with anything that I'm saying, please go to Facebook, Dr. Marissa, and just give me the finger. I mean, a thumbs up. And then that will, you'll get all of my latest stuff there.
Beautiful. Well, stick with us. We're talking with Dr. Marissa Pei about world-changing iconic women. We'll be right back.
Are you here to change the world? Do you talk about things like vibration, frequency, awakening, and consciousness? Are you pretty sure you have superpowers? The Superpower Net is unlike normal coaching programs and conscious communities. We provide training, intuitive guidance, peer-to-peer learning, intensive one-on-one coaching, and a high vibrational network of people just like you. When you join the net, you get 24/7 access to a collaborative group of people who support you as you master your personal power and unlock your superpowers. If you're ready to use your superpowers to change the world, then join the Superpower Net today. Visit superpowerexperts.com/the-net to learn more.
Awesome. We're back here listening to this Super Power Up podcast. We're with Dr. Marissa Pei today. One of the questions I have is that you mentioned before the break that we get to be happy 88% of the time. Why 88%?
Well, if you were happy 100% of the time, you'd be dead. And we need contrast. So, it's in everything. When people come to me for relationship coaching, I ask them, are you happy 88% of the time in that relationship? Are you happy with that person 88% of the time? Because there will never be 100%. It's unrealistic to expect someone to complete you or someone to be your perfect partner. It's unrealistic to think that life is going to deliver 100% everything that you want, hope, and desire. The contrast helps us expand. The contrast helps us, in the words of Abraham, when we know what we don't like, we know what we like. And so contrast plays a very important part in helping us expand and grow into more and more happiness. Happiness is not static. It's not a 100%. It's done, one and done. It is a journey and a destination. So I would hate to say, let's aim for or achieve 100% happiness, because I want to spend a little bit more time on this thing called life and the joyride of my life. How's that?
Beautiful. Yeah, no, I was just sitting with that.
The other reason, I'm so glad you paused for a second. I just remembered. 8, people ask me, my book is 8 Ways to Happiness. I talk about 88% of the time being happy. So the reason why I picked 8 is actually from my Chinese roots. And 8 is a homonym in Mandarin for good fortune. So Ba is 8. Fa is good fortune. So 8 is a lucky number in Chinese. So that's the other reason why I use 88% of the time.
Beautiful. Well, and I could see the synchronicities with it, and there's all kinds of really cool symbolism. It was curious. I'd heard you say the 88, and I was like, well, that's an intriguing number. And of course, you put a lot of thought behind that. So what's next for Dr. Marissa? Where is all of this going?
Well, I am just super, super excited as I watch my life unfold. Sometimes I have no clue what's going to happen next. And those are usually the times when I get called to be on the red carpet to interview Halle Berry or John Travolta or Quincy Jones, my favorite, or Ashton Kutcher. And then I get people on the show like Marianne from Gilligan's Island, and Patsy from Happy Days, and Dr. John Gray, and Neil Donald Walsh, who wrote a beautiful endorsement for my book, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, who wrote the foreword, Marianne Williamson. Oh gosh, I know I'm going to run out of names, but I have just the most amazing, Layla Ali, Muhammad Ali's daughter, who also wrote an endorsement. She and all of these people who come on my show become friends, which is so cool. So I look forward to having even more and more. I had Emmanuel Kelly, the X Factor, tear-jerking episode, if you haven't watched that. So I get to play on the show, and that show is continuing on. I've been over 333 consecutive weeks on the air about the time this will air, and I will continue to do that. There are cameras in the studio, so it's more like TV than radio. I have done lots of speaking on stages internationally. I nominated again for Excellence in Entrepreneurship. I have a monthly column. I'm featured in Executive Female on the cover in July, and have been doing a monthly column there. So writing, speaking, broadcasting, coaching, consulting, more of the same and more. I just am open, before I go on the air. Every day when I wake up, I start with my 8 gratitudes, and then I say, speak through me. Don't let me get in the way. Let the voice be thine, and the words be thine, and the voice be mine. And I'm not religious, but I am spiritual. And for those people who want to know what the distinction is, I love this saying. Religion is for people who want to avoid going to hell, and spirituality is for those of us who've already been there. So I don't get stuck on the nomenclature necessarily. If you're not crazy about the G word, or you've had some bad experiences with religion, but I do know that all of us are connected, and we're connected to this energy called love. And for me, that love personifies in what I call my UPS man, my universal power source, who I plug into every morning when I pray and meditate, and start off with those 8 gratitudes. And that's the energy that fuels me and all of us. That's my superpower, and that's how I feel I'm connected with you. There's no accident that we met at CEO Space International. There's no accident that we're having this conversation, and there's no accident that whoever ends up contacting me after is meant to be, and that we're all on this pathway, this journey called life, that we get to play in. And so what I'm looking forward to from this point on is a continuing feeding of my addiction to joy, a continuing walk in this journey of life, a continuing exploring and expanding and helping myself first, and then others with more happiness 88% of the time.
Beautiful. Very lovely. Well, let's remind folks again where they can go to find out more about you.
Absolutely. It is the number 4balance.org. And I would invite all of you to go and join my 21-day fast from complaining with Dr. Marissa. This is a new global thought leader accolade that I've been getting because since July 1st, 2011, I've had people joining this fast using the app that comes along with it on both platforms. You just look up Dr. Marissa Pei, and you will see the app that allows you to score how many times you complain a day, obviously trying not to complain, and you get daily tips and videos on how not to do that for 21 consecutive days. And if you do manage to do that, let me know, and you'll get a free gift of my motivational cards, 52 card pick-me-ups, Stacking the Deck for Life Balance with Dr. Marissa. So please do join that fast. Give me the finger at Dr. Marissa. If you say you have listened to this podcast, you will get a free mini balance life coaching session with me, either on or off the air. And names will be changed to protect the guilty and innocent, and it's valued at $250. So please feel free to contact me with that, and I'd be happy to work with you for more happiness. You can come to the beach.
Beautiful. Well, very excited. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today, and thank you for all the amazing work that you're doing in the world.
Thank you, and remember, it's all about balance.
Absolutely. And to all of you out there, as always, we appreciate your loyalty. Thank you for listening. Until next time, go out, uncover your superpowers, and change the world. Take care, everyone.
Are you ready to discover your superpowers? Go now to superpowerexperts.com and discover your superpowers today.